It is our first lecture about the Python programming. In the first lecture, we will just discuss the very basics of the Python. Uh, let's see what are the values and types. Values, for example, for hello world, these are values. For example, I just said print 4, it's got the printing 4, and then print hello, it's print what hello. So these are the values. For hello words are the values. Uh, Values have a certain type. For example, if we type 4, it gives us the integer. Integer is actually numbers. For numbers, we say it is that of type integer. If we ask about the type of the hello is a string. Why? Because it's a string of letters. It's a string of letters. H E double L O. So there are actually five letters. So 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 it's a string. 1.5 0.5 is if we take the type of 1.5, it's float. Float means any the value has if have a decimal points, so we call it float. So value have a certain type. For example, if it's a number, then it's integers. The whole number is in integer. If there's a fraction involved, then it's a float, and if there's a characters involved, then we say it's a strings. So these are the very basics of the value. A variable is a name that we uh, give to any of the value. For example, hello dear, how are you? This string is actually a value, and we assign with is equal to sign to message is a variable. So similarly, we can define n is equal to 17. 17 is a value. We and n is a actually variable. Similarly, pi 3.14, it's a float number, and we give this uh, variable pi. Now, if we print n, then it just print the because n is a variable, and variable stored 17, it print the 17. We say print message, and message is we say a variable name, and its value is actually hello d. It prints the hello d. Keep in mind that variables names should not be the reserved words. For example, print print is a reserved word. Similarly, if is a reserved word, for is a reserved word. The words that are actually used in these commands, for example, print, and we will see that there are other commands if for the variable name should not be in the reserved words. Keep in mind this thing. Anyway, similarly, as if we say to print hello, now this is actually line is a statement. A statement is actually a unit of code where the Python interpreter can execute. So print hello is a statement. Similarly, we can put two or three statements in one line, and we segregate these with this comma, this semicolon. So n is equal to 10 is a one statement, and then we say put the semicolon. It's and n is equal to n plus 1. This is the second statement, and print n is the third statement. Okay, so if we execute this, you will see it will be 11. Okay, why? N is equal to 10, n is equal to n plus 1, then it increases 1 in it, and then it print. So actually these are the three statements separated by the semicolons. Operands and operator operators are plus minus. The sign for the plus minus are we call them the operators, and operands are the values over which these operators uh, are actually executed. For example, 1 plus 10 is equal to 11. Plus is operator, 1 and 10 are operands. So if we say 1 plus 10, it's just like calculator, and the Python shell will act like a calculator. Similarly, 2 into 3 is equal to 6. You'll see 2 raised to power 3. Double static means 2 raised to power 3. If we 2 raised to power 4, you will see what will happen. 2 raised to power 4, 16. Similarly, if n is equal to n multiplied by 3, so we'll say three statement. We put the three statements and it will be executed. Uh, Percentage sign is a modulus operator. It gives the remainder. For example, if it's an even number and even number is divided by 2, it will always give you a 0. Why? Because it's a, it is a even number. Let's say we if we take the modulus of 2 with odd number, you will say it's 1. Why? Because it's not a even. 7, similarly, 7 divided by 3 is 2.333. And see, we have another uh, different operator. We double slash, we call it the floor division. Floor division means, floor division is actually just remove the uh, decimal points and it will give you only the integers. You'll see if we divide 7 over 3, it will give you the 2. This is our actually collab, Google Collab, and we're working on a Google Collab. Google Collab have built-in Python interpreter, so you just write it over there, and you'll have your own all the things on it. Similarly, expression and expression is a combination of values, variables, and operators, and a value is actually an expression. For example, 17 is the expression because it's a value. X is a variable. It's expression. X plus 17 is an expression. If we put the in a Python code 1 plus 1, then it will give you 2. Why? It's actually expression. And if we write the code, the expression on a Python cell, it will evaluate it. Keep in mind that order of the operation is PEMDAS. PEMDAS is just like the mathematical basics that first first we deal with the branches, then we deal with the exponents, then multiplication, division, abstraction. This is actually the normal convention in mathematics. As we just discussed in previously, that there is modulus uh, operator. There's a normal operator and there is a modulus operator. Modulus operators like quotient 7 divided by 7 double slash 3. It will give you the quotient, but it removes the decimal points. Similarly, percentage is a modulus that gives you the remainder. For example, 7 divided by 3, it will give you 1. If we divide 7 divided by 7, if it will give you 0. For example, 7 divided by 7, it will give you 0. Why? Because so you'll see, 7 divided by any other number, for example, 3, gives you the remainder. Uh, Similarly, as we just discussed the method, the op, string operations are also there. For example, if we say first hello and then name, it will, if we say if we print first plus second, it will just concatenate it. For example, it's hello number. It just concatenated. It doesn't add because there is not integer. There are the strings. Similarly, if we say first is equal to test and then first multiply by 3, it will just type test 3 times. There's an important part when we ask the user for input. The input is actually if we say input and we just write any text error, for example, enter your name, and then we put, for example, and then we put this into a name variable. For you will see input enter your name. For example, if you set Alex, and print name, it will print Alex. Okay. Uh, Similarly, if you it's very simple. If you simply say input don't write anything, still it will pass you number. For example, input is a command, and we write input. It will take the input from user. No, then put this me or this name into a variable called name. So we'll then ask what's the name. It's give us the name's value. Similarly, if we take that, what is the type of name, what is type of variable, it will give string. So keep in mind, if you in, take input from input method, it always give you in a string. Here is a twist. For example, I just run this code, input number, and I want any number, for example 10. You'll see, you take the type of number, it will tell us that it is a string. But we need actually uh, we need it into, if we need it in a mathematical operation, then we have to cast it. We have to cast it into integer. Just putting integer before it will cast this number that is actually string into back into integer. You'll see if you put a new number and then we type the what is the type of new number, it will give you an integer. So keep in mind, if you work on an integer and you take input from your users, always cast it into number or float. Uh, Sometimes we code the thing and we want to explain what we're coding. So hash is actually a symbol that used for just explain what you're doing. For example, see print message. If we put the hash, the interpreter will left that uh, line and just go to her and execute it. So hash or comments are just to explain anything, and it's not a line of code. So see, for example, when the computer percentage hour elapsed, we'll say minutes percentage. We know that 30 minutes are half of an hour, and just we want to print it, then we will see it gives us the percentage. So that's all up to there. It is a very basic lecture that we have just discussed, and if you have any issue, actually that I give the at the very end, I will share the link of my um, GitHub where GitHub link where we put all on the link is actually shared in the